Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Good morning, everybody. We are here today in the session 3 out of 6 in high conversion seminars and webinars. To briefly review what we have been targeting over the last 2 weeks, we are looking to engage more audience, we are looking to expand reach, and we are looking to increase sales, maximize profit, and achieve immediate results. And the principle or the concept we talk about it here is the concept of one-to-many, where I will present in front of more than 3 individuals, or 2 or more, 3 or more, however you define the seminar you are doing it, or the webinar you are doing it. And I would like to engage the audience, so the audience will be able to make decisions, and they will be able to join and follow my wishes, join my program, or join whatever offer I have. I don't have this particular slide here. However, we talked about that you can close the presentation on one of the main 3. One is you can close the presentation on a sign up of a sheet, and this sheet will have credit card so people will buy a level of engagement with you, or people can buy your product, or people can buy your service. I can also close the presentation on the audience, providing their cell phone numbers or their email, so I can do another sales call to them. And we will talk on week 6 on how this sales call will look like. The last model is to speak to enroll, which basically I will close the presentation with an offer, and this offer is to sign up for a one-on-one meeting after my presentation. So when we present or when we talk, we quickly by now understand this model, and this model will talk about that no matter what you do, you have to overcome the selected attention of the audience, you have to overcome the biased interpretation of the audience, you have to overcome the uncontrolled influence where the audience will repeat the ideas in their brain, and they can connect to the internet, they can have their self-talk or the group talk. And we also would like to overcome the biased memory. And I will share with you tips. I don't like to call them tricks. They are tips how to let people to be open up. However, if you understand this, if you understand that if I stand in front of you and I will talk to you, and I need to overcome your selected attention, I will be able to ask questions and get your confirmation on it. So you don't really receive my information through your browser or through your lenses or through your ear. It will be received as information, which I want to say. You can also help them to interpret what you are saying to their benefits. And you are also help them against the uncontrolled influence by having an online presence, by having group discussions, by having by overcoming self-talk. When we design activities inside a seminar or a webinar or a workshop, most likely the activities will be made to overcome the uncontrolled influence. One of the common activities, I can share it with you right now, is when you split your groups into 3 or more, and you say, let's do this group activity, and then I would like each one of you to share. So what you are doing here is you are influencing the group discussion into what's good you have. One successful activity, we do it and we design it, we plan it, and we always do it in our 3 days workshop. And you can also do it in 90-minute seminar, is we will come in the next day and the 3rd day, and we'll say, can you basically go back and review the charts? And we send the audience into a groups of 2 to 3, and each one will answer 3 questions. What this chart was about, how they can use it, and why it's important for them. So if you manage the expectation of the audience to answer these 3 questions, you are basically creating a tailored group discussions around how good is your system, how people are using it, and what they can do with it. Then, after people will retain through their biased memory, they will have their feeling and thoughts, and from their feeling and thoughts, they will move to emotion behavior, and then they will have their action and results. We also have to understand that when people design, they join because they are triggered, and these triggers are behavioral emotional engagement triggers, and this will come into my book, which is coming next in January, projected time to come in January. And we have understanding that triggers are value triggers, relationship impact triggers, information over process triggers, and the time to delivery or time to result triggers. And each one of us will have 2 dominant triggers and will have 2 lagging triggers. And these triggers, which one is dominant, which one is not dominant, which one is more mature, or you need to feed it more, it's function of the emotion state of the individual. So if the individual's his default will have some priority. If he is triggered into a sad mode, or into a pressured mode, or into a happy mode, the priority of what they should listen to these triggers will differ. And I will share with you some few also tips how you can understand the triggers once you walk to the room. It's not difficult to start at specific trigger, and then you understand now the quality of the people in front of you. I repeat again, I understand there is Myers-Briggs, there is DISC profile, there is color profile, color personality profile, gold profile, all this kind of interesting human classification profiles, and the 9 types of people. And as a matter of fact, I was talking to a customer overseas the other day, and suddenly she sent me, she said, can you share with me what is your types of profile from the 9 types of personality? So I said, you know, it's interesting you ask me this question, because I don't share this information. And I don't share it because I have been adapting myself to use these triggers for the last 4 or 5 years. And I basically can play the trigger of anybody. And because of I can play the trigger of anybody, I had some personal issues now because I need to be centered myself. I need to be confident myself. So if you want to play the trigger of somebody, you need to go after you finish the discussions to collapse somewhere where I will play my own triggers. So this is me. So that's why when I go to do business meetings, I don't go tired. I don't go overwhelmed. I have to be going with a clear mind because I have to be able to read people and then engage with them into discussions based on their triggers. So I will entertain them and I will become one of their allies or one of their friends. So when she called, she told me, "Can you share with me your 3 personality out of your 9 personality profile?" I said, "You know what? I'm not willing to share it." And I use this as an example because if you understand the personality of people and you are good at it, and this is what they teach you as a realtor or as any kind of sales, car sales, they share it in so many operations now. You will be shocked that you need to have a profile. You need to have so many questions. You need to know the person. When we sell one-to-many in a presentation, we are actually sorting through a major crowd without knowing who are the crowd. If I have a webinar of 100 people, or I have a webinar of 50 people, or even a webinar of 20 people, and I want to sell at the end of the webinar, I don't have the time to go one-on-one. So when I don't have the time to go one-on-one, what will happen? I will not be able to understand your type of the personality out of the 9 types of the personality, your desk assessment, or your gold color, because I don't need to. Using the behavioral trigger, emotional engagement triggers, using these triggers, you basically need to separate your presentation into 4 different quadrants. Quadrant, you will talk about the value. And people who are interested into the value, they are interested into the credibility. Yes, I agree. Value may be the price. Value may be the investment. Value may be the cost. However, you can see people are buying different products and they pay premium for it. And the products will provide them the same service, but because of the branded product or the brand on it, it will have a higher value. And we talk about bags, about purses, about sunglasses. You can go and buy a sunglass for $10, $15, all the way up to few thousands of dollars. And you can see that the sunglasses themselves, some of them are exactly same shape. The only difference is which one is signé or which one has a signature of the designer. So if you understand this model, you will understand that people who will show up in your events or in your life with all of this signé material, they wear it, they use it, they buy it. These people, they need just credibility. They don't need to know more about the money, because in essence, they pay more for the same value. We always have this question: should you go and buy a new sunglasses for, like, let's call it $15, a new one every year, and use it, or you should get a Ray-Ban or a Burberry or Chanel or any of these ones, which is more than $100 to $200, and wear it for 3 to 5 years? Which one will do the job? If you are from the type of people who wants to go and buy a brand new one every year, and it doesn't matter if you lose it, you are basically an information process guy. That's it. If you are from the one who would like to see the Burberry, who would like to line up for the Gucci bags, which doesn't make sense to me, by the way, but you are basically the personality of the value. You value. And if I want to talk to you as somebody who value, I have to talk about the credibility. And to give you an example, because this is not a theoretical professorship exercise, this is a practical exercise. You will find there is a specific type of people who wants to go to Maui or some destinations where they will go to the same resort where a famous actor or a famous dancer or a famous singer will go. Like I remember when we were in the state, we will go to a place where we will have an event in the city where Elvis Presley was born. And for many people will say, okay, who cares? We just need the value of the event. If you are the one who say, who cares? I just need value from the event. You are practical guy. You are somebody, or practical lady. You are somebody in the domain of information process. The people who will go to a high-end destinations and they will go and brag about they have been in the same room or in the same hotel where this event happened. This is examples of people who will appreciate value and who will appreciate credibility. So if I'm standing in front of this quadrant, and I'm always highlighting this quadrant because majority of people on the calls don't get it. Sometimes I don't need to talk about how my program works or what I can do with it. Sometimes I will come and go and say, you know what? Oprah Winfrey is using my program. Oprah Winfrey is endorsing my program. Tony Robbins is endorsing my program. Government of Canada is supporting my program. I received financial support from the government to provide this program. I was able to make changes in 300 people, in 1,000 people live. That's it. People who appreciate the Gucci, the Burberry, the brand, the Signet, this is the level of information they need. They don't need to know why, when, how. This for them will be overwhelming. In particularly that we talked before that this quadrant, opposing quadrants are diverging, which basically people who look at the value, they don't like information process, and people who look at impact on relationship, they don't like time. To give a second example, and I usually use these particular reviews because as adult learning, we should be able to repeat the information till we really get to use it as a practice. To give you an example of a relationship, if you deal with senior like grandma or and you will figure out that when you go to an event, the grandma usually looking for the kids or for the grandkids to be happy and to enjoy their time. And sometimes they do stuff which is not really. So when we have like food coming, they find the grandmas coming and calling the kids out of playing time to be able to eat. And sometimes she wants to cut the food for them and do stuff which is, we say, oh, this is grown up now. Why you do that? The attitude of the grandma here, it comes from the relationship. She would like to pamper. She would like to make them happy. She would like to take the extra step to make them comfort out of love. So the impact of your system on people life and people relationship and others is the trigger of the relationship. So when we talk about, do you have a relationship related discussion or communication connection related discussion to your service? So many of us comes from process. So we always like to talk about how it works, how it works, how it works. Can you tell us what is the impact on the relationship? Will it help you maybe a better person? Will it help you connect better and communicate better with your tribes, with your customers? Will it help you engaging your customer with you so they can come back? This is the kind of information you need to package and you need to discuss around their relationship. The third trigger here, which I want to talk about, is the time to deliver. People usually are eager to find solutions which can work effectively in a time manner. People sometimes don't buy because they don't know how long will it take. And they don't know what are the milestones. So I was dealing with a new customer the other day, and he came to me and said, what I love about what you told me is every meeting, every event, we have these milestones. And the milestones are dated. He's only maybe very few of my my client customer base will say this, because I don't give milestone to everybody. I only give it to people who are in the process time to delivery kind of approach. And what also this tells me is this guy cannot be a CEO, because if you come and say you like the milestones and you like the clarity of the process and there is a milestones tied for the homework and the delivery, it exactly speak your triggers, and the magic will happen. If I will take your triggers and I will train you to speak and to talk on others' triggers, on other people triggers, not on your own triggers, because your own triggers are not, you are not buying your service. You want to make sure that you resonate with the triggers of others. I understand the input of someone who will come and say, oh yeah, I want to be myself and people need to know me, and I'm not telling you that people will not know you. People will know you, will know your why, will know everything about you, and will feel comfort to work with you. What I am talking about it here is, if I want to tell you the value of what I do, I will split the value into 4 different sentences, 4 different statements, 4 different paragraphs. I don't care. So let's just do 4 different sentences or 4 different words. Each sentence or each word or each paragraph, no matter how long you want to talk about it, shall be tailored to a single quadrant. And I know my good friend Rick here, and Rick will say, yeah, but the word effective can be time manners, can be process manners, and can be also cost effective. I understand. Word effective or efficient, it could cover more than 1 quadrant. Nothing wrong with that. The foundation is, I must be able to describe the pain I am solving on 4 different distinguished or exclusive quadrants. What I will do based on value cost, based on relationship problems, based on time to delivery, based on process. And I can also talk about my benefits on this quadrant. And then when I stand in front of individuals, I will tell them the 4 sentences. However, I will start with the quadrant or with the quarter of the sentence, with the sentence which match the quadrant they are interested to learn in it first. But I will still go drilling through the quadrants. So this is a technique which is I want to share, and I will keep sharing it with you every time, because I want you to be fluent in that. And I will be actually, I suffered from this technique sometime also, to give you a complete disclosure here. Because when I dealt with individuals who are into the desk kind of analysis, and they were very brilliant dealing with me for 1 day, by the end of the day, they came to me and told me, why you do this? You should say that, because they will expect me to play my own desk rules or my own desk profile. However, I was actually matching whoever in the room. So this kind of matching of triggers, it's important, because once you get close to people and tell them using their own language, you will be able to engage them in a better way. I believe it's enough for this particular slide, and we will talk about it later on in so many times. Sorry. So whenever we design a conversation or we design a seminar, I will always remind you that you need to have the 7 pillars of mindless compliance. And these 7 pillars shall be a checklist. So you need to be consistent. You need to give information reciprocity. You give, people will appreciate scarcity or urgency, social proof, authority, and commitment. So if I apply these 7 principles in, you need to be consistent. So your slides, your attitude, your information has to be consistent. And there's so many points of that. Reciprocity, I believe the fact that you share with your people stories about how people can find solutions using your programs, and you teach them 1 or 2 steps of your program, and you share with them stories and tell them other people experience, you already give them out lots of knowledge. You can always give them ebooks, you can give them material. So the reciprocity will happen because you are not making conditions on giving them the material of buying your program. When you say, do you agree? When you say, do you like? When you say,
wir hoffen deshalb, dass es, nachdem Meschale-Tolo ja mittlerweile ausreisen konnte, auch dass am Ende eine Haftentlassung steht.
I notice here, Rick said he hears some noise in the mic. I'm not sure. We use the same structure as the same mic, so I hope this will be transient and it will go away. Everybody else is muted now, so okay, sorry. So coming back to the seven pillars, if you have consistency in what you do, in what you say, if you have reciprocity, if you have appreciation, if you have social proof, authority, and commitment, this is our checklist. So how we can reflect these pillars in a presentation? If I will come to the idea of appreciation, you must ensure that your audience will appreciate and will like what you are saying. How we do that? Very straightforward. Asking question. Do you agree? Do you like what you hear? Do you agree? Can you relate? This kind of questions, when they say yes, and some of the speakers like Peak Potential and other speakers, they use TV Eckert approach where they tell you yes or yes. Do you like what you hear? Yes or yes. So this yes or yes question answer, it persuades individuals to say yes, which means it will change their mood to accept what they do. You don't have to do it in this way. Some other speakers will use high five and say yes, or high five and say agree. Give the one beside you to the left and the one to the right high five and say agree, or yes, or that's great, or that's awesome. This kind of approaches will get them to like it and will also play on the social proof. Because once you have more than one saying in a loud voice yes or giving a high five, it will give the high social proof. Some speakers who will come at the end of the presentation, and I want to share with you the awkwardness of what I do, because we go around and I go around and I will be contracted to people who wants to evaluate speakers on the stages. Secondly, I will go and actually analyze what's going on in the room, not to buy from the room. So this will be a little bit an awkward situation. And similarly, when I share how you can persuade and you get mindless compliance of your own audience, people will come to me and say, oh, so you are using this technique against me. So the answer is yes. Okay, so these awkward scenarios I have to live with it, because my mission is to make you better closure. My mission is to help you out, to sell more, to spread your message more, to get people engaged with you in a better way. So this is my mission. So I have to be clear on that. So when you come and say in your offer, towards the end of your offer, I give the next one to you high five and say, I would like to buy that. What you are doing here is you are bringing commitment, verbal and oral commitment with social proof on the commitment. So what I want you to understand, that every single activity is made inside the room within your seminar, webinar. It's actually tailored to persuade one of these pillars. It's only those speakers who will go some places and just grab some examples and blindlessly apply them, or just do them without understanding the meaning. So majority of the time, they will end up doing activities to the opposite of the pillars. So one of the good examples is one of my former partner, when he didn't understand well this kind of models. So we did the whole sales presentation, and when we get into the commitment time, or when people sign up for the program, he didn't let the room to sign up. What he did is, okay guys, we have been here long enough, and let's just change the mode. Each one give high five to the one next to, and let's just do this activity. So when you plug such a statement or such a message at the end, you are actually reducing the commitment level, and you basically reduce the number of sign-up to your program. So if you don't understand why you do such an activity, connect with me with the planned activity. I can explain to you. We have more than, I believe, close to like 300 different activities. And I can share with you some of the psychology behind the activities and how people can do it and why. I also can share with you another example of a lady in another program with to put a system together, or a business together from New York. And this individual, when she stand, her coach told her that she had her emotion to go and to cry. So for her to come from a speaking level to crying, and she will have tears, and then she go back to speaking mode, it will take another 3 to 5 minutes. And people will not, if people have sympathy with you, they will not buy your system. You cannot be a crying coach from the stage. There's only 1 or 2 individuals I met in all of my career, and these 2 individuals are gifted. They can do it, and people will buy from their age and from their persona. However, as a business speakers, selling businesses is not recommended at all to lose control on your talk by crying, because once you cry, people will not like it. People will not appreciate that you are crying. People will feel that this is too much on you. There's actually individuals who would love you to come down from the stage, because you are now going through suffering and personal pain. And these individuals, if you understand the rationale, you look at the emotional trigger, these are the relationship people. These are the relationship people. These are the people who really care about you on the stage, and they say, why you put yourself through this pain? So people who will value, or people who need the results on time, they will not be engaged. Anyway, so we will keep talking about these different models, different times. So if you have any questions, please type them in the chat room, or you can ask them later. So, and we also talked about the dominant divider, which is how people think, feel, and do in your program. We can talk about, when you start any event, you don't start at a loud voice. You start slow, low, and you keep your voice going up, because you have the kinesthetic people, the audible, the visual. And there are those who are digital visual, who are more dynamic. They will move a lot in the crowd. And the digital visual don't need to see the full video. They need to see snapshots of the movie, and they collect the whole story. These people are very dynamic, and no matter who you are, you should be able to address this particular four. So quickly reviewing the sequence of the presentation we have. So we start with hook your audience, express your expertise, title, share your story, agenda, challenge your clients, share an irresistible offer, proactively addressing objection, and close the deal effectively. And this is the emotional triggers where you will be able to go through. You have your hook, you have your reframe, you do rational drawing, you build an emotional impact, you show the new way, and you present your solution at the end. So this is the solution, this is the emotional wave of selling through the stage. We briefly spoke about hooks. Hooks are stories, statistics, videos, and one of the audience who is not here, I met him the other day, and he said, when I went to the different events downtown, I understand now that everybody's doing it the same as what you do, is basically they start with hooks. And it was very interesting when you've been exposed to these frameworks, how much will it change your perceptions when you attend other people's presentation. Then you express your expertise through your information nuggets, and each one of the information nuggets shall have a story behind them. And the story will be an example of somebody with this information nuggets. You can also seed your offer with the story, which basically you can say, once they use my system, they achieve these particular results. And here we have to stop and talk about, I know a few of you have been sharing the homework in different forums and the Facebook group, and some of you are sending me the homework on a private emails. No matter what you do, but there was a discussion happened the other day where we talk about other people solutions or other people quotes or somebody else quote. If I am seeding in my offer my program, I must not seed some competitor offer. So if I come and say these quotes are how people are using it from good friend Brian Tracy, or from Zig Ziglar, or any of this, or Napoleon Hills, or any of these kind of approaches, these quotes are double-sided. One of them is shows that you understand and you read. However, it also shows that you are a follower to these people, and you will equate yourself to anybody sharing these quotes. And here I have to share with you an interesting story. Do you know, and if you can type in the chat room, do you know who said the quote of insanity, keep doing the same thing and expect different results? So who is the speaker, or who is the one who said insanity is keep doing the same thing and expect different results? Unfortunately, is not Einstein. Einstein never said this quote. This quote. So Robert Einstein did not ever in his life, and there are proofs out of that this quote is actually made up by somebody, and they affiliated to Einstein. And I will be able, if someone will remind me, I should be able to share with you the sources and the mathematical proof and the logical proof, which said Robert Einstein did not ever in his life said this particular quote. And the minute you know that, you will know that every single speaker stand up and have these interesting photos of Einstein or this multi-trial things, and he said Einstein, you know that these speakers don't share the truth. So having quotes of somebody, you are basically put the glory of this program. Yeah, and I understand. Rick will tell me, because we have this discussion with Rick all the time when we meet. Rick will say, yeah, but Napoleon Hills was a bit amazing, or a massive, or a one of its kind thought leaders. I agree. Napoleon Hills is the one who's the best. He's the one who changed how people behave. I understand that. And his book is amazingly good. However, if I will come and say, and this is my personal view and the other view of from the other side of the coin, if I will come and tell you a quote of Napoleon Hills, now I am packaging myself. I am packaging myself and labeling myself within the speakers who will give similar quotes to Napoleon Hills. I am launching myself within the crowd. I am not launching myself within a leader of the crowd. So when you deal with a presentation to position an offer to donate or to buy or to join your program at the end, you have to be careful of quotes, because I would rather use testimonials of my customers than quotes. I would rather use stories of my customers sharing my program and how good is my program than third party or somebody else quote. And be careful, because we had situation with Scott, because Scott is a huge fan of Tony Robbins, and he come and talk about the stage and the mindset, and he has a program in mindset. And over the years, everybody will basically use Scott to buy tickets to Tony Robbins event. Nobody is joining Scott programs or Scott mindset. So this kind of quotes, on the safe side, you shouldn't use quotes of somebody else. This is my view, and I'm biased towards this view. More than happy to have discussions with you guys on why you use these quotes, and is it important to have a quote of somebody, or it's more important to have a story of one of your clients demonstrate when they pay you money and they join your program, they have a massive success. And don't mix statistics coming from Statistics Canada, from Harvard Business School, from Center for Infectious Disease in the US, from Naturopath, from different health organizations for naturopath and wellness. Don't mix statistics with quotes. When you do statistics and you say the source of your statistics, people will look to you as expert. When you share quote, you are giving the expertise to somebody else. I have to stop here because I don't want to spend more time on this, but as you see, like, we will always have a review every time, because I believe you can go through these sequences without papers by just remember how the sequence will go. Then we have the title of your presentation, and we talked about the title shall be a pain, not pleasure, not information. And then you have your personal story, which is also a stool of pain points, defining moment, happy outcome. And then we have an agenda, and the agenda will be what you are sharing, why, and the challenges. So what and why should not be a single slide or two slides. It can be just a slide which has a broad statement of what you are sharing and why it's important and why people should address it. So if I go back to the presentation style, here is the presentation style, and today we will talk on a challenge your clients. What do you mean it's challenging your clients to buy, and what do you mean it's challenging your clients? So remember the title of the presentation, which is I always recommend for people who are starting and people who are in the middle and people who are in the end. I recommend the title will be the top 3 challenges or the top 5 challenges to achieve whatever. So I recommend, and I will work with this title. And I remember last time there was someone here where we took the title of her presentation and we moved the title back to be the top challenges. And when we took the top challenges, 3 or 5 challenges, I want to do the challenges to the end goal. So look at your program and decide what is the end results. If somebody will go inside your program, do every single step, do every single process you have, apply them, how he will look like, what is the end results will look like for this individual. So when I come and say the top 3 challenges, the top 5 challenges to happy retirement, or to being a millionaire, or to sell $1 million a year, or to dance with whatever you want to do. So these are the challenges. And the question now is, what could be under these challenges. So are these challenges what my customers are facing, or what are these challenges? So if I come here and say the top 3 challenges to achieve the final or the end goal, let's just call it the end goal. Okay. And if I say the top 5 challenges to achieve the end goal, can you share in the chat line what are one of the challenges, or what is the biggest challenge for people to achieve the end goal? If you share it in the chat room, I will just give you a few minutes so you can, or half a minute or so. So if you can just type down what are the challenges for your clients to achieve their end goal or the happy outcome you promise from your program. If you understand the challenges will be only one challenge. And this is only one challenge, and one challenge only. The challenge is how to join your program. Do you agree? If I will join your program, if I will listen to you, if I will do everything, I will achieve this end goal? If the answer is yes, that you agree, if I will join your program, I will achieve this end goal. The top 3 or 5 challenges to achieve the end goal shall be the challenges not they are facing in their life. It shall be the challenges that the audience and the client are facing not to join your program. Please, if you agree on this concept, go to the chat line and say, yes, I agree. And if you don't agree, let me know what kind of challenges your customers and your clients will have. Because for me, the challenge of building a successful business, I can show you how you overcome all of them if you join my program. Full stop. I know for Rick, he focuses on sales. So the challenges, if you want to increase your sales and to sell more programs and sell more products, the challenge will be that everybody will join Rick program. So if you will have the challenges focused on how I will share with you how you overcome your challenges to join my program, this is the mindset we will talk about. And by the way, the top 19 challenge for people to sign up to your programs are very well established and known. And before we go this step, I want to share with you the following. So if I will talk about the top 3 or 5 challenges to achieve the end goal, each one of these challenges will be backed by a testimonial. So once you say the challenge, and we will go step by step on a lower level details or a higher level on more details, okay? We'll go to a more details illustration in a few minutes right now. So when I will come from my title, when I will come from followed by my personal story and I will spend like maybe 5 minutes talking about my personal story, 3 to 5 minutes or maybe up to 10 minutes in a 90-minute presentation, and how I will overcoming, what's my pain point, my defining moment, and how I achieve happy outcome, and how I designed the program for you guys to join. When I will come from that and I will say, what I am sharing with you today is a business strategy, for example, and it's very important for each one to have a strategy and take a step-by-step program to achieve immediate results and start to see within 3 months or less fruits coming of launching their new program. And the whole system is structured. It will address your relationship with your customers and how you can bring them in. And then I say, okay, the top 3 challenges or the top 5 challenges. I will start with 5 for you to have similar program is, and I will explain them. After I will say the challenge number 5, I will back it up with a testimonial with somebody who came to my program and have been able to overcome this challenge and achieve the same results. So testimonials and the stories. Stories we use he and she. Testimonials we use I. So it's first person against third person subjects. So when you talk about testimonials need to be pinpoint. You can have photos of the people testimonial. You can have video testimonials. Sometimes I videotape testimonials and I have them. However, you have to be careful that video testimonials are one extra layer of technology challenges, because majority of the time the audio will not come quickly. Majority of the time you'll not be able to hear people. Majority of the time you'll have problems with the noise and stuff like that. So I wouldn't make video testimonial. I would rather making text and just reduce the technology. So the sequence I'm going through here is the challenges which people face to join your program are the principles that if I am in your program, I will achieve this happy outcome. So if I want to move the challenges in this way, and as I said, I do have the 19th challenge organized. They are very well thought. They are very well researched. So you cannot actually reinvent the wheel. And here is the challenge number 5. Your audience, they are not aware of a problem and a solution. Majority of us don't know that there is a problem exists, and there is a solutions which exist, which it can solve. So when I come and say, what is the problem, the only problem, and what is the one problem? What is the one problem and only problem in businesses? Is to have a high cash flow, is to make money. That's it. Having more customers or having less expenses or having new strategies for effective managing the companies, all of these are reframing for the problem because you want to offer a solution for it. But the biggest problem and the only problem in any business is how to make money. That's it. There is no other problems. There is no other problems. Now, Rick will come and say from sales perspective, you can increase the price of your product. Yeah, when I increase the price of my product, I will be able to make more money if I assume I can sell similar level or more. Okay. Somebody else like Marcel or maybe Rick again can say, oh, you don't have enough customers. Or I will come and say, you don't have enough seminars, enough activities to attract clients to convert them to customers. When you have more clients coming through your program and 10% will converge or 1% will converge, no matter what the conversion rate is. If you get more, it will be a numbered event. It's a number exercise now. So if you get 1,000 instead of 100, for sure you'll have more customers than when you get 100 or 10 clients or 10 prospects. Someone will come and say, when you have customers in, you don't know how to do customer service. You don't know how to retain them. You don't know how to upsell them. You don't know how to satisfy them. You need to have surveys. And okay, all of these are reframing for the problem. So if I stand and tell you, you as a customer or you as a client sitting in cross of me in the room, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know of a problem actually happening in your business. And all what you do is you work inside the business. You cannot stand out. And you don't know that there is a problem existing in your system. And now you don't know that there is actually solutions available for you to solve. When I will frame, and please don't use this particular verbiage or this particular words. This is the framework of challenge 5. A challenge 5 is an example of a client over a prospect who is not aware of the problems in their business, and they are not aware of there is a solutions for the problems. When I have this kind of customers And I will say that challenge in whatever I will say. People don't know their cash flow, and they don't know there's a problem, they can solve their cash flow. People, they don't know, they don't sell, they can sell more, and there's a problem to fill the unused time. When I position it in this way, and I will offer at least one testimonial of a similar class of customers who have been gone through my system, and this similar class of customers were able to use my techniques, my technology, my approach to achieve happy outcome and overcome the challenge. When I do that, I will be able to frame the clients in front of me to be able to understand that there are problems in their business that they are not aware of. And these problems in their business they are not aware of, who is the best solution for it? It's me. I am the one who is coming here, who can show you what kind of problems you are not aware of it in your business. So in this approach, this is the number 5 challenge. I just review it again. Is your people, audience, cross of you in the room, they don't know there is a problem and a solution for this problem. They don't know what they don't know. A challenge number 4. And the challenge number 4, people don't know what to do when they face this problem. When the problem identifies itself in their life or in their business, they don't know what to do. When somebody doesn't feel home, when somebody doesn't feel appreciated from his family, they don't know what to do. And if they don't know what to do, it means these are individuals who are not aware of a solution. So if you don't know the solution for the problems, and as I said here, you come and say, here is a testimonial of someone who I was working with, who doesn't know the problems, the solution for their problems. They joined my program and I shared with them this. I made them rock stars. This will give them an example of somebody like them from your customer base. And when somebody likes them having the same challenge, which they know there is a problem, but they don't know which solution to use, they will be able to relate that your service will be useful. Okay. I'm always in, like, this is an area where we talk about extreme mindset shift, because usually when we talk about the challenges which is your customer are facing, people will write they face low cash flow, working too hard, high emotion, lonely. The problems and the challenges people are facing now at this point, because they stand in front of you as an expert, are basically one challenge, which basically how to sign up to your program. Full stop. Nothing else. When you talk about the other challenges, like I seen my good friend Derek here saying being treated like a commodity, or using your skills to sell more, losing customers for the competition. This kind of pain points can be how you illustrate the pain point of the testimonials. So if I have someone who had an issue with, just to pick up on this particular example, if I have someone who have issues, this individual has issues with cash flow and his business is not doing well. And what he found out that he is losing customers to the competitor. So once you talk about the pain points, you can bring this particular data point. But the biggest challenge is people don't know the problem exists and there is a solution, or people don't know if they have the problem, you can provide them with a solution. If you notice here, I started with a challenge number 5 and then challenge number 4. the reverse chronological order counting, it has an emotional drawing. Because if you are sitting in the room, and I'm talking here about challenge number 4, and you know from my agenda that I will talk about what, why, and the 5 challenges, you understand now that there are so many challenges. There are 3 more to go. So if you are not interested, you will not stand up and leave, and you will not look at your watch. You will basically keep engaging, because if you are a time-sensitive individual, or your trigger is time to delivery, from this trigger, you will be able to understand that there is only 3 more to go. So using reverse chronological counting, it's a very important, because it actually demonstrates the professionality of the presentation. I repeat again, you go to the challenge. After the challenge, you give a testimonial. What about the challenge number 3? Challenge number 3 is people are doing the wrong solution. So here, where we talk about how you stand out from the competition. So if you have a testimonial of someone went to different programs. So for me, I have testimonials of individuals who went to the geology programs and went to Rock the Stage programs, and they were doing it on their own. And they went to what's her name? A couple of other programs like Ted McGrath and the other people speaking programs. All of these individuals, they gave me testimonials that they went to these programs and they could not implement what they have been learning in this program to create income. And when they joined my program, they were able to gain income. They were able to produce outcome and produce income, which varies between $5,000 to $20,000 a month within 6 months. When I put this information, and actually I have a testimonial said that in 3 months, someone business have been tripled and doubled what they have been doing for 3 years, using some of the techniques we share here at Win Your Brand. So doing the wrong solution, they do the wrong solution, or they apply the wrong tool, or they apply a tool and doesn't work. This is an area where you can shine against your competitor. And the competition may not be a competition of individuals. It can be a competition of modality. So individuals who are doing Reiki, for example, Reiki masters. There is also a healing touch. There is at least 17 healing techniques. All of them, they involve angels and energy. And for people who are not in this area or the space, just take my word for it. There is at least 17 different modalities in this area. So if I want to stand in front of individuals and I say, people who have been doing Reiki's masters and they did not achieve immediate results, if they come and do acupuncture, or acupuncture with healing touch, they will achieve a higher level of results. And here is the testimonials. This is where you can address the questions inside your customers and the client's mind, why it's important for them to consider this particular so they do the wrong things. And this is actually, I didn't mean this to happen, so we'll do this together right now. So and then what you do after that is you will do a testimonial. You can do a testimonial of somebody who will basically doing wrong solution or joining wrong program. So the challenge number 3 is your clients, they use alternative program, or your clients are using different modality or different solutions, and the testimonial will be using pinpoint defining moment and the happy outcome of somebody, practice and try different modality. So at this point, somebody sitting in the room and say, yeah, you know what, I know the problems, I've been doing this and it doesn't work for me. But if I come and say, yeah, if you do these approaches and it doesn't work for you, at the same time, I have here a different program which will work for people who have been practicing similar modality or similar solutions. This will get you to build a solutions beyond the solution of your competitor. And as I always say, if you have more than 20 minutes, you can afford having more testimonials. So if you are in a high-end environment where you know that your audience have been in the space and have like personal coaches, which is for any coach, any business coach, personal coach, the biggest challenge that your client will have coaching before. So when I come and say personal coach or business coach, I can compare my program to other coaching. I usually say in this area that for a team, you need to have different type of coaching. Because if somebody has a coach and they come to your events or they expose to your webinar, the first discussion they will have with their coaches is how good is your program. And the other coaches will usually diminish you and they will call you scam. And I was called a scam 3 years ago as well. Like people would come, oh yeah, my business coach told me that you are a scam. And I got to know this individual as a business coach. I didn't know the business coach himself. And I can tell you that the business coach himself right now is working for a company and he stopped doing business coaching because he was a scam. I keep doing training and I don't like business coaching, but I keep doing training and consultancy for people on their business issues for the last maybe 5 years, dedicated to that. And the other people who called me scam 2, 3, 5 years ago, they found jobs and they went back to be employees. And this will speak on who's the scam. So if somebody will come and diminish you or talk about you different other than business life coaches, this is very common in life coaching. It's very common in life coaching. Majority of the people who will come to your life coaching, and we don't have the statistics here, but the statistics will say that people who are shopping right now, they are about 3% of the market. People who are not aware of you as a life coaching, there are 30% or 30% of the market. So if people are looking for different brands, they need a solution and they are shopping, they will buy in the future, this is another 30%. So you need to position yourself in a way that your competitor will not be able to diminish your value. Where we do this in challenge 3, where we talk they do the wrong solution, or you can say they do other solutions. Like it doesn't need to be that don't work for them. So if you show why the other solutions don't work for them and your solution is better, this is the challenge number 3. It's challenge number 2, and it's not in the slide. So challenge number 2 is they don't take actions on time. So if I come to challenge number 2, the clients and the audience don't take action on time. So let's just pause here and look at the following sequence. At challenge number 5, you don't know there is a problem and you may not be aware of the solutions. Challenge number 4, whoever understands there is a problem, they don't have a solution. Challenge number 3, whoever understands the problem and understand there is a solution, they apply solutions which don't work for them. Or solution, we call it wrong solutions, okay? So just wrong might be very aggressive of a word to use against competitors, okay? Because we never diminish the competitor. The competitor are doing it in a way and we are doing it in the highway approach. Or the competitor is doing it in a way and we are doing it in a better way approach. So you never diminish the competitor. You always appreciate the competitor approaches and you can highlight why it doesn't work. And I'm not teaching what I don't apply. I am the only training center and coaching systems which give you end-to-end solutions to the training coaching packaging. We exclusive support system, our support system exclusive for people who train and want to sell through webinar, seminar, training and healing methods or expertise. So we are the only one. We are the only one, and this exclusively our customers in North America, maybe worldwide. No other coaches or training systems will exclusively work with subject matter expert. And to prove myself right, Patricia Freb and the other speaker coaches, they do speaking coaching, they do sales training, and they work for the Hilton chain and for other companies. They don't work with subject matter expert individuals and coaches. We are the only one. If you go to ICF and CCF and all these organizations, they provide pieces and of the solutions with different suppliers. So the philosophy will not work through. For us, we are the only one. If you understand the models, we can show you how it works on your website, on your speaking, on your books, in your communication, everything. Everything is coherent. So when I stand and approach this challenge in front of people, this is exactly what I say. And instead of being confused between different courses, which they don't give you the same information, they are not based on the same ground. But when you are confused because you don't have enough training, enough knowledge to cover the whole game from an idea concept of a training experience or expert offer to money coming to your bank and how you can retain, we are the only one who provides this end-to-end solution. We have everything laid out. Is a complete playbook or blueprint of your business. You can actually get the playbook in advance if you pay for it. And if you buy it in advance, you get it and you fill it, you will have a business running within 3 months or less. Full stop. So when I position the solution in this way, I will persuade people who don't who may be trying different bits and pieces to solve it themselves to be able to join my program. Challenge number 2. So challenge number 5, you don't know what you don't know. Number 4, you don't know what to do when you have the problem. Number 3, if you do the wrong solution. Number 2, you don't take action on time. You are slow, not taking actions. And when you have these actions not taking on time, you basically don't sign to join my program. That's it. And if I come and say, here is testimonials of individuals who didn't take action. So currently, I do have 100% conversion on individuals because by year end, anybody in prospecting stage with me will sign up for my program. Because if you take action right now, if you are working hard on your program, if you want to launch your product, if you want to grow your service, if you want to go to the next level, the best time to work on this when your customers and your clients are not buying. And none of our customers and the clients will be buying during Christmas time. So if you use the last 2 weeks or the last week of November and the first 3 weeks of December and the first 3 weeks of January to build a system, and the system is backed up by a blueprint, by a strategy, by basically forms filling. I call it intelligent form fillings. So you can actually have a business launched and running online and you go sell it for February, where the customers will be coming back and the clients will be coming back to buy new products. You can do it. You can do it in 3 months. We have been doing it for the last 3 years every Christmas. So if you don't sign up to the program and do the steps, you have to wait, because in February you have 2 options. You either position your program or you position what you have, and whatever you have right now did not sell well for the last, or you want to take it to the next level. So I can create urgency. And remember, challenge number 2 talks about don't take actions on time. If I roll back, and to be honest with you guys, I love keynotes, and I love it in this mode because I can go back here and share with you one thing. One of the biggest, the middle pillar for people to take action is scarcity. People have to miss. So limited time offer, limited seatings, all of these keywords means people will miss. Now, when I have a challenge number 2, which basically you don't take actions on time, I will be able to declare urgency. So when I declare urgency here, and I back that up with a testimonial of a pain point, defining moment, happy outcome, at this time, this urgency will play to my favor and people will sign up. And this will lead to the challenge number 1. And the challenge number 1 is themselves, or sometimes you call it you. So it can be themselves or you. Not you as the one listening to me here, you from the stage looking at your audience. So when you look at the challenge number 1 or the top challenge, because remember, we come from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who are the top challenge for getting the happy outcome? The people who decided that they don't want to join your program. So it's you. You in the crowd are protecting yourself, thinking about it too much. You can give so many examples how you can, people are having their own self-talk. They feel they want to do it themselves, and they don't understand that this is our sales process. If you are in sales, because we offer training in sales, and just to give it here a very interesting perception is, we provide sales training for business coaches to sell more. And I actually provide sales training to sales training and coaching services, how to sell their programs. And their programs is exclusively sales training for car dealerships. And people will come and say, it doesn't make sense. How you come and show the sales guru how to sell their goodness or their program? I stand back and say, you know what? You can sell a product, you are trained to sell it. But once you switch to another product, you need to learn how to sell the other product. So when someone has a sales training program for car dealerships, this is a training program. This is not how to sell cars. Most likely they lack the knowledge and the information about how to sell, how to position a curriculum, and how to sell it in front of customers. We, on the other end, we developed, and I say we because, yeah, it's my main development. However, I have also partners, and I have early adopters and early customers who help me develop. So out of being respectful to everybody's contribution, say we developed at Win Your Brand. I always talk about Win Your Brand. I'm not talking about myself because it's an organization at the end of the day. We sell as organization. We have been developing scripts for objections. So if you have, do you have sales training to sell your program? Do you have objections scripts? One of the objections, common objection is, why should I listen to you? One of the objections is, I am busy. I don't need that. A third objection could be like, I don't need your program. Do you have a sales training for that? Do you have a script written for that? Most likely no. And I have a situation where one of the audience here, when he came and he was actually talking, we had a workshop, and when I just shared with them the objections, he said, oh yeah, I was trained with this objection when I was selling engineering solutions. An individual in medical devices, he said the same. I was actually trained on these objections when I was selling medical devices. And then what happened? Why you don't use the objection when you sell your training or life coaching program? Because we never been trained to sell these programs. And that's why where we come. So when people come and say, yeah, you are the one who limit your beliefs, you are the one who doesn't want to invest, you are the one who refuse to take steps and match everything I was sharing it with you about testimonials. And what I'm saying here is I'm not looking to recruit you for my program yet, maybe happening later or maybe happening naturally. But what I'm saying is this is the kind of verbiage you guys need to develop. The challenge in front of people in front of you, they know that you are expert. They know that they have challenges. You shared with them examples. You shared with them testimonials. What is missing now is they will sign, they will donate, they will subscribe, they will do the next step with you. And when you come to challenge number 1, you have no testimonials behind the challenge number 1. And the reason of not having any testimonials behind the challenge number 1 is if I go to the structure from the beginning here, in challenge number 5, I have a testimonial. Challenge number 4, I have a testimonial. You can have more than one if you like, if you have time. Challenge number 3, you have a testimonial. Challenge number 2, you have a testimonial. Who is the next one to give me a testimonial? Is your audience in the crowd. So once your audience in the crowd understands that the challenge is number 1, and then you have there is no testimonial, then all what you need to do at that point is you need to inject a summary slide, and the summary slide will say, today we learned 1, 2, 3. So basically when we have the agenda here, you come here after no testimonial and you can say, today we learned and this is the summary of where you close your presentation. Why do you need this summary in this way? Because in adult learning, people cannot sit for more than 15 minutes without button of interrupt. People need to be reminded what exactly they learned, what the challenges and why. And at that point, you will come and say from the stage, along the framework or along the line, do you want to learn more? If people say yes, we would like to learn more, what will happen is you will share with them an irresistible offer. And sharing with them an irresistible offer and the structure of the offer, it will be an exclusive discussion for session 4 and 5. So section 4 and 5, which is next week and the week after, will be exactly all what you need to do as a irresistible offer. So to recap on what we discussed today we discussed the top 3 challenges to achieve the end goal. You list challenge number 5, you give testimonial. You get challenge number 4, testimonial. A challenge number 3, testimonial. A challenge number 2, testimonial. A challenge number 1, no testimonial, so you have no slides, and then you will summarize the learning of today. Some of individuals will say summary. So some people will say summary, today's summary. And at the end of the today's summary, you'll ask them, do you want to know more? If people will say yes, or if it's your attitude from the very beginning to say yes or yes, agree or agree, do you want to learn more? People will say yes. You will be able now to show your offer, and I will share with you how to structure the offer next time. So this summarizes the sequence, which is I have been practicing it myself, and many of my customers have been doing it, and we were able to achieve a massive results using this particular sequence. And as I shared with you before, with these sequences, with the framework, we will be able to structure our sales presentation to be able to engage people more. The question now is, what is the homework for this particular session? So the homework for this session is you can pick up top 3 or top 5 challenges, and you will be basically articulate the challenge along this framework. Then you need to craft at least 1 testimonial. For the people who have been overwhelmed with the 5, please don't do the 5, do 3. When you do 3, pick up number 1, we know it's you, we have to agree on it. Pick up number 2, it has to be you don't take an action in time, and pick up any of the 3, 4, 5 challenges, and just craft your slides and the sequence of your slides in this way. If you keep crafting between 5 to 6 slides every week, by week 6, I will show you how to make it adaptive, how to make it professional, how to engage people with it. One point, what is the difference between 3 challenges and 5 challenges, and what number should I pick? It's very straightforward. If I have 20-minute presentations, can you address 5 challenges in 20-minute presentation? Most likely no, because 20 minutes, you need 3 minutes to 5 minutes for your own personal story. You need another 5 minutes for the offer. You'll end up having 10 minutes left. In 10 minutes, you cannot talk about the challenges because you need to have testimonials. So if I have 20 minutes mark or 20 to 50 to 30 minutes mark, focus on the top 3 challenges. And there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong of mixing a challenge number 5 with a challenge number 4 and label it a challenge 3 prime, and mix a challenge number 3 and a challenge number 2 and call it a challenge number 2 prime, and keep challenge number 1 is themselves. So if you have 20 minutes to 30 minutes time mark and you want to give more examples, more situations, you should go on 3. If you have 45 minutes to 90 minutes, 5 to 7 challenges at the 90-minute levels, it can be. And as I said, I have 19 challenges in order. And this is, if you want to have more than the 5, contact me and I'll share with you the 19. This stuff have been set, have been demonstrated from the psychology from the 1930, 1940, how people sell through presentations through this. And the very first salesman who came to town and sold people at the time the water to treat their teeth problem and their mouth problems, they were using these techniques. And people bought from them waters, has no use, and to be surprised, people also have been recovered from that. Anyway, don't watch too many of Clint Eastwood movies, but many of them in these movies. So coming back here, this is the sequence, as like just last point, this is the sequence. The irresistible offer, I will share next time, step by step, how you can structure it. And as I said, if you do the homework today, most likely you'll have the recording by tomorrow morning, and you'll have the homework ready, described. If you do the homework and you continue doing the presentations on week 6, you will be able to have a complete presentation that you can speak it from your heart. And as usually at the end, I would love to open it for questions. So if you guys would like to use the mic and ask questions, or if you would like to type your questions in the chat room, let me know. More than happy to answer any questions. And please challenge me with your questions. And looking forward to see you next time.
Just timing. As he goes through the slides, is there a certain time?
Mike, do you have anything to say?
Can you hear me?
We cannot hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now? No. No question.
So I see Mike is yes, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Just wondering about the timings. Going through, how do you kind of gauge? Let's say I have a 20-minute presentation. how do I know when I should be getting, down through the bottom of the slide here where I'm sharing my irresistible offer? Should that be with 10 minutes remaining on a 20-minute presentation, or 5 minutes remaining, or what?
Yeah, if you want to share the irresistible offer, it shall be within 5 to 7 minutes remaining, because remember that the majority or the main prime goal for this presentation is to sell an offer or to show an offer. So 5 to 7 minutes remaining when you have the irresistible offer should be the nice plan. And also remember, at the very beginning, we will be shy sharing the offer, because it's not our everyday approaches to share an offer. So once you have this, it should be like you should be concluding here about 15 minutes, and you leave 5 minutes to 7 minutes to the rest. One more thing I didn't share it with the content, but I can share it now. Majority of you still here, is if you look at this sequence, I hook my audience with information. I express my expertise with stories. I share with them what the problems they have for them to join my program, and I challenge them. On the outer skirt, this is 100% education. That's right. Do you agree? This is 100% education. I'm sharing with you stories of people like you having similar problem, and they were able to solve it in a way or another. And I'm showing you why you cannot join. However, because the stories and the testimonials and the challenges are yours, this is 100% soft sale. So if you don't want to sell, you don't need to. If you structure it in this way, you are sharing statistics about the market, the common problems in the market where you express your expertise, the barriers for people to join and solve their problems, and you give them examples through stories and testimonials. Are you selling anything here? The answer is no. However, we understand from the back end, the answer is yes. So the only selling point will be the irresistible offer, and it will come after permission. And I hope this has answered your question, Mike. Rick, do you have any questions or any comments?
Yeah, thanks.
Yep, I do. Yes, so the question I have is, in your agenda or near the beginning, should you let people know that you are going to be making an offer later on, just so they don't feel like they're being ambushed?
Yes. The immediate answer is yes, and I did not talk about these steps yet. So coming back to this model, and the question from Rick, just to phrase it to everybody, that should I tell them at the beginning that I am not making an offer or I am making an invitation? If I understand, if I look back at this psychological model, people will look at your selected attention, and their selected attention, if I have been sold before, my selected attention will push me toward you are selling me something, and it will take my subconscious mind to keep looking, where are you selling me? Are you selling me? That's it. So if I reconvene at the beginning and I say, there is no sales whatsoever in these particular presentations, and we will go through the education. It may have an invitation at the end for whoever interested, but this is not a hard sell presentation. You are basically overcoming their selected attention to look for your sales part.
On that note, what I found often is, and I am going to quote somebody here, there's probably many people have said this too, it's not just them. Thank you. Every time you present, every time you have a website, every time you talk to somebody, if you're in business, you're selling. So it may be a subtle, it may be kind of a soft sell, but you're always selling. So basically what I'm saying there is, by the way you present your presentation, it's showing you're really showing the listener that they're missing something in their business that they need, and they become more drawn to it as you go through the presentation. You're not actually pitching it at that point. There's a slight difference between pitching and selling. So when you write good copy, or when you write a good presentation, it's about how is it going to benefit you, and maybe what steps, at the end you say, what steps can you take to take that further? But you're always kind of letting people know there's something there underneath that can help them.
Yes, and between selected attention, biased interpretation, and their biased memory from buying something did not work from them, framing it as a very beginning, and we did not talk about the housekeeping yet, because housekeeping will be the difference between a presentation and the webinar, or a seminar and the webinar. In the housekeeping, part of it is say, here is the washroom, or tune your phone, or whatever it is. Part of it is to say, I'm not here to sell you or give you any sales. This is not a hard sales. This is just an education information presentation. And it may have an offer at the end, or it may have an invitation for anybody who wants to move forward. But please be open to what I will say, and don't take it from the perspective that I am pitching or I am selling you, because if their biased interpretation is you are selling, I'll give you an example. They will just say, no, it will not work. So for example, if you know that I will be selling you something, and I come here and say, you don't know what you don't know, your audience in their mind say, yeah, you know what, he wants to sound the expert for us to buy, because their biased interpretation play a role in how they interpret this information from you. Mm-hmm. So setting up the stage at the very beginning, that's why I like to see this model in everybody brain. Like, if you understand this model, you can actually tailor their attention to look at the aspects of education and what you offer.
This model could be used in sales copy, it could be used in advertising copy, it could be used in any kind of selling model.
Yes, and I use it against my wife, but don't tell her, because you know her. I use it against my wife so often to keep my relationship as a married, okay? No, seriously, what got me to this model like 5 years ago, I wanted to know why people do what they do, why people flip, why people get into trouble, why people get into, it changes their mind. And this is a model which is, I contribute the repeat content to it, and I did some changes against what was in the market at the time. So if you have this model vivid in your brain, and if you understand these pillars, you can do a checklist in my meeting. Did I get them to sign that, to write down for the next event? Did I tell them, did I show them how important to sign up today, not to sign next year? Did I give them enough reciprocity? Like, I give my business card, and on the back of my business cards, there is a free event. I give my business card and some other business cards, and you have like a report. Did I share? So if you, in my understanding, if you pick up the behavioral model and you look at the mindless compliance models, between these two, maybe 2/3 to 80% of the engagement will happen. The other 20% is your personality and the quality of your program and how you can pick up languages. But having these models, I don't know, I'm a former professor. I understand the science will never lie, and it will be applicable for 80% of the people. So if we understand the model and the science, we apply them, we should be in a better situation than just somebody coming blindly and copy some other people practices.
I think it also boils down to a broader subject, and that is maybe not time to discuss it here, but broader subject of overall communication and how you communicate what you're offering to them. Because one of the reasons why we don't do, one of the things we don't do or do what we do is because often as humans we tend to miscommunicate what we're trying to say to the other person, because we may not be speaking the same language, maybe even not using the same definitions of the words while we're talking to each other, so we get totally confused of what we're saying to each other. So but that gets down to a kind of a higher level of communication, but that's important when you're presenting, and also when you're talking to people and trying to educate them.
And I 100% agree with that. And where in this model these are really described is when you talk about people will feel, how do you feel about this offer? How do you think about this offer? What you do in the decision dominant dividers. And when you talk from the prospect of a value, relationship, process information, or time description, this is where you align their interest with whatever interest. kinesthetic, audible, visual, and digital visual. It's by the way, kinesthetic is a small, not capital, as a beginning to give people attention to these ones. So it's not, it's on purpose to write it case small, so people will know why he didn't do it capital. So now you know this area, okay? So having this is the way you speak to people. But I agree with you. Putting yourself in their shoes, it's capturing this model from the dominant dividers and from the behavioral emotional triggers. So communicating the right, communicating the value in the right language and the right triggers for people to come to join, it shall be encapsulated in this. And I will, as you saw me this time and last time, I will always start with these models again and just a little bit by a little bit, just try to get people to shift their mind and to consider these models when they communicate. Okay, just let's go through rotation because I know Mike has a follow-up, but is there anybody else wants to give some feedback or have questions on the group, like Ahmer or Mariana? And if it's not, Mike, what was your follow-up? Marcel, I know Marcel is driving, so if he wants to join by phone, he can. So Mike, what is, you had a following question, sorry,
No, I didn't. You answered it already, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions or discussions, my good friends here? So if no other questions or discussions, we'll just conclude this session today. And as I said, you will get the emails by tomorrow for when this will be on the online. And please, I would encourage you to pick up a topic and do all the slides, because and I'm more than happy to give you feedback on your presentations.
Sorry, say pick up a what did you say?
Pick up a topic. Like some of individuals on this course, they don't have a topic to sell. They don't have a program yet. So okay. Some of us have multiple programs. Just pick up one program or one offer or one product or one service. And I would highly encourage you to put the presentation together on slides. And I always give a template for the other parts, so you can always add to your slides. So on week 6, you will have a draft 0 of a presentation we can talk, and you can bring it up on 6 weeks, and you can show it, and I will give you some common information from what we have been seeing it from our experience in this field, what you can say. And coming back to Rick's comment, I engage people and I do have an accent in their ears. So, because I use these techniques and people come to buy from me because I use these techniques. The last one I did not also comment on it. I said, I hate to be called coach or business coach. I like to be consultant, trainer, whatever. However, when I stand in front of different groups and people understand business coaching, I have to label myself as a business coach. So the only reason for me to be called business coach, because my audience understands the term business coaching, but I don't like it. So follow up what your audience are tuned to listen, because this is the only way to engage with them.
Are you going to be putting the template of this PowerPoint or condensed version so we can follow the slides and answer each slide?
Yes, I put the template like in week 1 and week 2. I put a template in PowerPoint and a template in Keynote.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So I will keep adding to the template. And as I said, like if we coming at mid December with a slides deck, and we can perfect it between December and January, you can go in by mid-January and just develop your webinars or your seminars based on whatever your business model is. Okay? Any more questions, my friend?
Thank you.
Yeah, so enjoy the rest of the day. It's very shiny here in Calgary, and see you next week.
Thanks, Wally. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.